So that was one bugged intro. Good stuff, eh? Good stuff, eh? Right, so we are on 120. 120. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So today, hey Sergey, what up? So today, my friend Thomas modeled this, and I think this is his first sculpt. He is a 3D artist. It's his first sculpt in Blender, so he does know how to do it. So obviously he's skilled, you know. Hey Ivan, Zialin, what up? So today, my idea is I'll take his sculpt and I'll paint on top of it, just for fun, to see what his base will do to my outcome. So it's like a tag team, right? I take his sculpt and I've already screenshotted it, and I will paint on top of it, and I'll see how that ends up. Who knows? Who knows what will come out of it, right? Hey Morphia. I can never not read more fire in patois. You know, like reggae artists. More fire. Instead of morphia, which is, you know, metamorphosis, I only read more fire. They always say more fire when they want like stronger rhythm or dance more, go crazier. You know, they scream more fire, more fire. That's funny. I saw a photo on Facebook, like, you know, these yearly reminders. Let me try to find it, just to show you guys that are new and who don't really understand where I'm coming from. But I used to have that. I used to have dreads down to my knees, which is, you know, looking at me now, is that the last thing you'd think, right? But yeah, I used to have a really long dreads. Sergey fell. I have an all-nighter face. Thank you. I felt good up to that point. Excuse me. What's with the fucked up face? What? What's wrong with my face? But yeah, so you see, I used to have dreads and I cut them off. I had them for, I think, 13 years. They weighed over 3 kilos when I cut them off. It's crazy. Crazy. They were the longest, they were down to my knees. I kept cutting them to make not have them that heavy. But I mean, 3 kilos at the back of your, like, on the head, you know, it's like 3 big packages of milk. Like, you know, it's heavy as hell. This was I made the dreads after I quit martial arts. I think I quit martial arts many years before dreads. I made dreads. The year was 2000. I made dreads when I was 20. But yeah, so funny little photo. Yeah, the weight of them was insane. Like I had put them all in a bag after I cut them. I was like, have I been carrying around this? And the weirdest thing, after I cut, I could feel the skin kind of going back up on the skull because it'd been weighted down, you know, pulled down from 3 kilos, you know, constant tension. And then I could feel it like ants inside of underneath my skin. Just crazy. Anyways, so my plan here, right? Let's start the timer. Let's start the warm up. So my friend Thomas he did the sculpt. I will paint on top of it. See what happens. Thomas Pazika? Shit. What's his name? Okay. On Skype, his name is Pasiska. Right, great. So I couldn't even actually see his name there. He actually says the same thing. I'm assuming he hears that quite a lot. Actually, let me do him justice. I can't in goodwill just end it with mocking his name. Pazika. He's German. Let's give him some correct love. There we go. Hey, Martin Paz, what up? So, I am painting Thomas Pazika's sculpt. He asked me, he kind of asked me. He was like, you know what would be cool? If one time you could model or paint my model. Hint, hint, poke, poke. Oh, really? Come on. Sergey, if I know if he is still, I don't know the ins and outs of his company or his standing in that Learn Squared. As far as I know, Max Berman isn't a part of Learn Squared, other than having a course there. But again, no idea. Usually, though, there is you can go to Learn Squared, their main page. Maybe they have like an about page with founders. But overall, I'd say his course should be there regardless. Or what's the idea? You want to know if he's a part of the hierarchical structure of the company, or if he has a course there. What's the question? And how dare you insult my face? Have you looked in the mirror, and if you have a long all-night face, huh? Ah, so offended. Hey, Martin, that's good. Nerves will treat you well. All night face. So rude. That's funny. Okay, let's do it like this then, so you don't need to look at my all night face. Happy? Just kidding, by the way. I'm not offended, actually. Hey, Frenchie Frogs, how's it going? Sergey. I actually don't know. I actually don't know if he is a part of the team or not. Um, I know that it is or it was started by a few concept artists, as far as I remember. Um, but I'm a bit unsure though. Um, Shit. French. No, this is not my model. It is modeled by my friend Thomas Pazika. Pazika. I think I nailed his name there. But he asked me, "Would you like to paint my model?" And I said, "Hell yeah, buddy. Let's do it." So here we are. He said he would love to see where I would take it. So I guess today is the day. I thought it would be a fun little experiment to use someone else's base and see kind of like what I could, where I would interpret his forms, right? Because he definitely had a vision of what it is, where it's supposed to go, and character or behavior or texture or whatever. And he hasn't told me anything about what he envisioned this to be. So it'll be fun to see if he considers me on point in terms of what he had in mind, or if it's going to be a big surprise. I think what's fun about doing things like this, where you take someone else's work and you tag it onto it, I think it's a really good exercise in adaptation. You learn to roll with the punches. You learn to use a base that you haven't started yourself. And what you got to try to do in stuff like this is to try to respect what's there, build upon it, because there's definitely a risk of you being too careful, right? Where you're staying inside the lines too much. You wanna add something to it, right? You don't wanna feel like locked down. Ace to guess. Pro 42. What's up? Hello. Hello. How are you doing? So you're nervous for Unreal Bjorn 3. That's good. I think, like I always mention this every Unreal Bjorn, but it's so important to. I think a lot of times it's so important to push yourself and not to be scared of pressure. And like joining a competition like this can be so beneficial in applying yourself, because we are all victims of kind of casual approach where you know, like this warm up. If I would do this for a competition, like if this would be the base of a sketch for the competition, I wouldn't sit and talk on Twitch, joke, and just kind of randomly sit and paint, right? I would apply myself completely differently. I would try to make it the best I could, right? Because people will see it, judge me on it. I mean, obviously, you guys are judging me on my warm-ups, uh, whether I like it or not, or whether it's a smart idea to stream duels. But here we are. But the fact that when you're in a competition like that, which is a free-form competition where there's a lot of weight put on you as an artist, because on every time on Unreal Bjorn there is a topic on each round, and the topics are always quite open for interpretation, open enough for you to insert yourself into the equation, to contribute something to the topic. I hardly ever. I think I've shown some images for inspiration, but most of the times, what I've used is a really open topic, but which has a clear direction, so that it's not fully like, give me something blue, but you know, like it's very clear direction, but open enough where you can definitely have fun and be creative and come up with interesting things. And I think that's where you will learn the most. I think the biggest takeaway is the fact that if you make it, even if you don't make it past round one, you'll still have feedback from the judges, at least one round, and you can hear what they will have commented on your art, or read rather, and you can start understanding, you know, like where you went right, where you went wrong, what's beneficial for you. Hey Zelin, good morning. Shartha, how's it going? And what's even more fun is the first round, like Zealin said, first round you can be up against anyone really. And there's a lot of new faces. I think that's one of the coolest things with the setup of Unreal Bjorn. I mean, to toot my own horn here completely, but the interesting aspect of that is like the competition. I find that really the competition aspect is what always drives me in those situations, what always makes me excel when you're being forced to perform. Hey Wanamir, how's it going? Good morning. Dear Bard, how's it going? Sergey, yes, the pairings are absolutely 100% randomized. The technique I've used is highly technological. I've used it for 2 years now. I think I will use it for the third year. We'll see. But the technique used is write the names down on papers, roll the papers into a ball, put it in a hat, and then pull the names out of the hat. It's highly high-tech engineering right there. Magic. Fight me a big budget hat? Definitely. No expenses spared. Only the best for you guys. So each piece of paper is handcrafted, not cut out of one arc, but handcrafted singular piece of paper in the exact proportions needed, exclusively for each name, and then carefully folded by 3 specialists, placed within vacuum into the Egyptian papyrus, original Egyptian papyrus, exactly. Collected by time machine. Sergey fell. Yeah. No. It is like printed paper written with one hand while drunk. some cheese doodles on top. No, I don't eat. I don't eat that, but yeah, you get the idea. Like, I'm eager on this model to change the silhouette. I was like, I would love to change the silhouette, but I don't think I will. I think I will. I want to stay true to it and just play around with what's here. Because I think if I would change the silhouette too much, I would potentially impose a little bit too much of myself into it. But then again, he asked me to paint it. Not sure, really. A little bit, maybe. Fight milk. I like the way you're thinking. Do it au natural. Hey, Captain Boss, how's it going? Give him a belly? Oh, I don't have time for a belly. I mean, I could, really. It's not that. Fun to explore, though, I must say. I recommend you try this. I used to do it a lot with friends, is to send me their starts, and I'd tag into their painting. I'll start on their base, and I would continue. And a lot of times I learned new techniques that way by observing someone else's base, which I haven't, which would be outside of my style, and I would see how they start building the image. And if I would have to continue, you would have to try to mimic it, right? So not to fully break the illusion. Like I said on this one, I kind of want to honor what Thomas has already done with the sculpt, but build on it and try to maintain rather than just steamrolling it fully. And why is it set to luminosity? Stygias, if I keep a sketchbook. Here's one of many. Where is he? Yeah. No, there's one of many. I have many sketchbooks. I have over 50, 60 finished. Currently I have 3 sketchbooks running. 2 of them are, one of them is extremely one project related only, and another one is that doesn't help with the subtleties of values. Another one is half, but I usually just have my sketchbooks as open mayhem, draw whatever I want. But there's one book that's specifically related to project. Hey dear Bart, how's it going? Thank you. Hey Brendan Toy, I did not, sir. My friend Thomas made a sculpt in Blender, and I decided I'll paint on top of it. So here we are. He asked if I would like to. I said no, you smell, go away, who are you, stranger? And no. He asked me if I wanted to, and I said yeah, of course. I like the idea of I kind of started explaining it, but today is not a really cohesive day of thoughts. But I started explaining about this kind of way of playing with art, where you start on someone else's work, which makes you have to adapt and analyze what they're doing and what their intent is, and in order for you to adapt to it and continue on it, right? Like I said earlier, I could have easily steamrolled Thomas's idea and just went, put a top hat on him and gave him a beard, but that's me taking over his concept, even though his concept is extremely minimal in terms of information. It's just form, but there is implied details in his sculpt, but he hasn't told me anything about his idea for the character, so I don't know really. So all I'm doing is just kind of going with it and trying to respect his base and build whatever I see on top of it. And I think it's a really fun way of doing things. And I used to do it with paper as well. I used to ask people to start drawing something like random shapes, even on printer paper. I went and bought a big stack of cheap printer paper, and I went to my university when I was in university, and I stood outside in the campus and asked everyone I could see, "Sorry, this is a weird thing to ask you." You know, you should know by now that I'm damaged goods. Hi, it's a weird thing to ask you, but would you mind just doing a doodle of anything that doesn't even to be anything? Just draw on this paper, please. And 500 pages I filled with strangers' strange drawings, or lines, or squibbles, or whatever they wanted to do. Usually it was just, you know, like a few marks, and then they went off to class. But what it ended up with me was 500 things that I didn't do, that my visual language hadn't initiated, my brain hadn't touched. And what I did was, a lot of times I looked at the lines and was thinking, like, what could this be? What could the base of this be? And it generated a lot of weird ideas, a lot of shit drawings. But the idea wasn't to make beautiful drawings out of random people's doodles. It was to hack my mind, to start on something that it was initially not from me, right? Because we all have preferred lines, we all have preferred shapes, we all have certain colors we like. But if we have to use something else that someone else likes, it completely changes up the starting point. Brendan, draw a cat? Yeah. We have also done that, but with horses. The infamous draw a horse without reference activity. It was good. There was some messed up horse beings being drawn. Draw a horse without reference. Go. Hilarity ensued. It was not beautiful, I can tell you that. I don't think there was a single good horse. Actually, I think Permia did a pretty decent horse. Even though that horse had issues, it was still pretty decent, I remember. And there was also someone else who had done a pretty decent horse. But I'd say overall, it was it looked like men in horse costume, cooked spaghetti legs, dog. It was beautiful. We need to do it again. We need to do it again. But my suspicion is you guys have been practicing hard on horses. So when I'm telling you to draw a horse, you're like, finally, all my 5,000 horse studies I've done will finally pay off. Or you just load up your reference page that you've already collected in advance. Dear Bard, yeah. Hey Kuru, how's it going? First topic, draw a horse from imagination. There will be no winner. End of competition. Day one, end of competition. Just internet like combusts. No, but we should do draw animal X from memory. That would be a fun task again. Would be fun to see, you know, like how close can you get to a tiger without crying and breaking your Wacom into. Kudos. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I really like your style, by the way, Kuro. You should be more active. I saw that you posted character and your mechs. They're fantastic. I'd love to see more. More regular updates, please. Mhm. Well, being busy with work is an okay compromise. Time is up. So we started with this gelatinous blob of meat thing, and we ended up with this. Interesting. Not sure really, but well, it was fun. Is an axolotl. Those are those salamanders, right? Called human worm. Human worm salamanders? Thanks, Kuro. They needed that orange to pop, to make it a little bit more vibrant. Otherwise, it's just a gradient, you know. I'd like to put in some blues maybe and yellows, but whatever. We don't have time. As a reminder, again, for all subscribers, on Saturday I will try to set up a premiere countdown on Twitch, but on 8 p.m. UK time, all subscribers, there will be a subscriber only stream where I will show you my latest lecture of art directing yourself and general design principles. So who's ever a subscriber, you just need to go on that stream and you'll get that for free to watch. And it won't be available afterwards for a while. So it's an exclusive for subs as a thank you for the support. So let's find someone to raid. Who is on the line? Okay, let's raid Team Remmers. All right, we're gonna raid Team Remmers. He's a game developer, sculptor, great guy. Make sure to give him some love. We're gonna do the outro and then take you to the raid, so don't go anywhere. Thanks everyone for joining in. Good night if you're in that part of the world. Have a great day if you're in this. See you tomorrow. Bye.